If you're Indian in Dubai, you probably thought to yourself, shall I be cooking or shall I order out? Whether it's going to be beneficial or worse for my fat loss results, or can I continue doing this for long term with my health and fitness? Today I'm going to break it down, everything from price, effectiveness, and share with you my own personal way of how I get in shape, how I stay in shape, living in Dubai for the last 7 years. So let's break down the first one, and that is price. I took the average price of my groceries on a week-to-week basis and I just ran that through ChatGPT and gave me the prices and the average from Spinneys. On a month-to-month basis, I'd be spending 1,000 dirhams on protein. That'll be your eggs, your chicken, your beef, your fish, your tofu, your veggie, your paneer. 500 on veggies and carbs, so that'll be your fresh veggies, your fruits, your carbohydrate sources like your basmati rice, your potatoes, and then 500 for MISC. That's anything from your cooking oils, your sauces, your condiments, your sweets, your snacks, your cereal, for example, and that all comes together on average at 2,000 dirham per month. Now that is for one person, that is just me. And I'm not a big person, I'm like 75 kilos, eating like 2,000 calories on a day-to-day basis. So that's 2,000 per month. The other thing to consider with these groceries is this is not including the imported goods. Now, one of the worst parts about Dubai is that you have to import mostly everything. And most people, when they first come over, they start getting the brands of food that they're so used to at home. You've got the Marks and Spencers, you've got the Waitrose this, you've got the Johnson & Johnson that. And therefore, because they're imported, the prices just go skyrocket. So the things that you are used to are normally at a higher price. Trying to get a Monster energy drink or trying to get like a specific chocolate bar that you're used to, if they're not common in Dubai, you have to pay a premium for those too. And then when you look at the Deliveroo side of things, on average, it's 45 dirhams per meal, and then you get 2 of those per day. You're looking at anywhere between 2,700 AED. Now, obviously, bear in mind, if you're probably not just eating 2 meals in a day, you're probably having some snacks and another meal as well over the course of a month. So whilst this is just the average of 2 meals per day, you probably have some groceries alongside. But you're probably thinking, well, that's easy. Well, I'll just do this, which is the price point for the groceries is much less, especially if you're an individual like me who may be eating 2,000 to 2,500 calories on a day-to-day basis. And on the same time as you will be ordering delivery, but also making some of your meals as well. And this will be on the lower end. If you check out an app called Hundo, you look at meal preparation companies, there's millions on there that you can choose from veggie to vegan to meat eating to athlete specific. And you can choose monthly 7-day plans, 14-day plans, and you get them delivered directly to your door, either 2 meals a day, 4 meals a day, 5 days a week, 7 days a week. And the price then represents that too. I think at some point for 7 days a week, 4 meals a day, I was paying somewhere between like 3,500 and 4,000 dirhams a month. And that was during my photo shoot preparation. So sometimes I actually wasn't eating that much and paying that amount of money for veggies and protein. It was delivered, and that was the most important part. From a price point, you get the gold star over here. The groceries for an individual person will probably cost you less. But the thing is like, yeah, price is cool, but it's not always about price. If you can spend a little bit more and save time, or you can spend a little bit more and get a little higher quality, wouldn't you want to do that? Because when we break it down, if you're going to cook 3 meals a day, let's just say cooking 3 times meals PD, that's going to equate to 2 hours a day potentially of cooking, which leads to 60 hours a month. Now, I don't know about you, but that is nearly 3 days spent in the kitchen. I don't really want to do that, especially if I'm running a business, I've got kids, I've got dog walks to do, I've got life to live. I don't want to be spending 60 hours in the kitchen a month doing basic meals in comparison to ordering the food, which in the worst case scenario, you scroll for 20 minutes deciding, and then you decide on a food every single day, or you decide on 2 of your meals a day. That's only going to lead to 10 to 15 hours a month, which is a total saving of like 40 plus hours on food. Now, if you're a business owner, you'll know what value for money is, value for time. How much is 40 hours a week worth to you? You could put this in many different occasions. If you had 40 extra hours a week on your fitness, would you be in better shape and feel better? Yes. If you could spend 40 hours more with the kids, I'm not sure because I don't have kids, but I'm assuming you would feel more enriched. At least some of it would be positive that comes from spending more time with the kids. Or equally, if you wanted to spend more time on your business, how much more money could you earn in those 40 hours? There's a whole 2 extra days working on your business. There's always going to be positives that come from that. So then we look at, okay, so if you want to save time and you want to spend more time doing other stuff, spend some more money. Cool. If you don't want to spend more time with your kids or more time with your business and you'd rather have more money, then do the grocery shopping and then spend the time in the kitchen. Now, when it comes to results, which is like the most important part of this whole journey, is like, yep, you could have an extra 200 quid in your bank account every single month, but if on both ends still fat, what's the fucking point? So we're looking at results. Now, the beautiful thing is that it's not an either or. It's just looking at the confines of each one. So I want to talk about ordering from a meal prep service. So in 2017, I did a photo shoot, and the pictures will be coming on the screen right now. I did a photo shoot, and I used a company that I will not name because they don't deserve it. Is that they sponsored me because I got a lot of clients to them. Now, every single day they would give me food, 4 meals a day, and it was amazing. It would come to the gym every day. I'd pick up at 6 a.m. and eat the 4 meals. You get a different meal plan every single week. You change the foods, and it would be to your specifications from a macronutrient perspective. Until I was 4 weeks away from my photo shoot. For the last 2 weeks, I hadn't lost any weight. And bear in mind, I was doing 20,000 steps. I was doing an hour of cardio a day, and I was doing around about 1,200 calories, which meant that I should have been losing a lot of weight on a week-to-week basis because I had a photo shoot to do. So one day I decided to get a little bit curious and think, well, why would I not be losing weight if I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing? And the problem is that I took the breakfast, which was the pancakes with peanut butter, and it said 10 grams of peanut butter. And I weighed the peanut butter on 3 particular days, and all days was 50 grams of peanut butter, which means that I had 5 times the amount of calories in that meal because peanut butter is quite high in calories. It was over 500 to 600 extra calories, and that was my deficit or my fat loss efforts done. So the problem when you're looking at meal prep companies, and the thing that you have to look out for, is the accuracy. If you can get good ones, and that definitely has improved in Dubai, because I've noticed even using some of the kind of restaurants like Heat, the accuracy has got a lot better. But if you're wanting to be 100% in control and 100% consistent and repeatable and achieve some amazing results with a high level of specificity, you probably might want to question this sometimes. But if you're looking at like just making better changes, you don't care if it's 100% accurate and you don't mind about 90% with the changes that they've made now, you can use that. So you can pay extra money and get 90% accuracy, and you'll probably get close, or if not to your goals, if you don't have a situation like I had. So from a results perspective, you can do it. Now, as well as that, from a results perspective, I'm going to put a picture of Harsh. So Harsh is one of our clients who's lost a tremendous amount of weight. He lives in Dubai, financial analyst, and he had a very interesting structure with his food. He controlled his breakfast, so breakfast would be controlled, and then snack would be controlled. And in between, for lunch and dinner, he used something called the one plate rule when someone else cooked the food. So for example, either at his office, at work, they would provide food for him, and he would use a portion control plate. And then for lunch, he would maybe do the same thing. Or when he was at home, someone else was cooking a traditional meal, he would just do a serving size of those. Now the guy looks incredible. The photo shoot condition, I got in photo shoot condition, I used a meal prep company, he got in photo shoot condition, but used a one plate rule. So they all work. Now with this one, it requires a lot more discipline. It requires you to only have one plate, portion out appropriately, and to have a family that may be already into a little bit more fitness and don't use all of the stuff with every single meal to make it easier for the calorie count to be where it needs to be. So both people got amazing results. Now, what I do right now is I buy groceries, but I also have a maid. So I technically have my own meal prep. But I have it done in a way where I'm doing the best of both worlds. I control the groceries, and I give her specifics, and I make the food. They get you the same as a meal prep, but with higher accuracy, and they get you a lot more ownership of what you're eating and control, as opposed to like randomly having portion-sized amounts of food. So you can use different things to get results. In this one, you see the picture. In this one, you see the picture. And in this one, you see the picture too. All great ways to get results. They just require different levels of consequences. The consequences of maids is it's pricey. There's a bit of training that goes involved with training your maid to give you accurate food. And most importantly, depends on how they like to be treated and what they kind of do for themselves. Depends on whether you get large portions or small portions or added extras or their inconsistencies. But everything comes with a cost. So the cost is here is price. The cost is here is someone living in with your house. Over here, the cost is the price of the meal prep plus maybe potentially the inaccuracies of the meal prep because you're leaving it in someone else's hands. And over here, the cost is a little less accuracy and more relying on other people making healthy meals at home and using a lot more discipline with accuracy of your portion sizes. So they all work. And that's why when you're looking at the difference between groceries and looking at Deliveroo and ordering, it's not that either one are better. It's what you're doing across the week and the whole strategy in general. When we look at our clients from Harsh to Prem, to myself, to Dimple, all of us had different strategies when we got in shape, different ways that the kitchen dynamics were designed, but we all got in amazing shape because we had a strategy that worked for our lifestyle. Now, if you're watching this video, you want to understand what the strategy is and the lifestyle that you need to lead, depending on whether you are meal prepping, whether you're grocerying, whether you're doing all of these things here in Dubai, and you want results exactly like Harsh, and maybe even the way that Harsh did it. If you click the link in the description, you're going to be able to speak to one of my team to look at the problems that you've got and how we can solve that in whatever lifestyle, whatever strategy that you got food-wise. And if you want results like Harsh, definitely click that button. If you're here in Dubai also, there's an opportunity to work with me personally with VVIP. All you got to do is mention that on the call and then they'll talk to you about the options of working with me personally on a one-to-one basis. See you in the next video.